Watson Duke to the Secretary of Health, Agatha Carrington, with regard to the dismissal of 8 doctors at the Tobago Regional Health Authority. Mr. Duke contends that there are irregularities occurring at the institution, financial as well, regarding work practices.
It's plagued with a disease called self-importance, where the Secretary of Health has robed herself in a garment of self-importance.
He says that Ms. Carrington's arrogance is the cause of young doctors being given illegal contracts and being unable to perform in their chosen field.
The laws that govern contract employment in this country ranges from 1 year to 3 years. That is what it ranges from. There is no such thing as a month-to-month government contract, and I challenge them to give us the authority that they're relying upon to give people in Tobago and in Trinidad month-to-month contract.
To some sports news now. Beaten but by no means disgraced as the undercooked TT Warriors held Wales to a narrow 1-0 defeat in their much-anticipated friendly at the Wrexham Racecourse ground. A resilient Trinidad and Tobago threatened to keep a sellout crowd quiet throughout, and in fact did just that for 90 minutes, until they had their bubble burst in the most cruel of fashions and in added-on time. With only 3 weeks of preparation here at home, with a bunch of players who are out of season, and after having just 2 training sessions together as a full unit with their European stars, the TT outfit more than held its own against 19th-ranked Wales. TT kept it scoreless at the half, and in fact looked poised for a remarkable goalless result until Lady Luck smiled on the home team. Ben Woodburn, who was excellent in the second half for Wales, got a deserved goal for his efforts, chesting in Will Vaulks's lofted cross to the back post for the only goal of the match. It was ideal preparation for Wales, who faces Slovakia in Cardiff on Sunday, while the Warriors return home to continue their build-up to the Gold Cup in the United States. That brings us to the end of news now on TTT. I am Karen Kozia Phillip.
Reach further when you advertise with TTT. Suite 100, Next 99.1, and at Talk City 91.1 FM. Whether it's television, radio, or social media, our stations belong to the only broadcast network with 100% coverage across Trinidad and Tobago. That's a fact. From Port of Spain to Point Fortin, Crown Point to Charlottesville, every household in TNT can easily access our signal. TTT remains the only broadcaster with live capability from multiple locations in the country, making us the most dependable source of information for events of national importance. Find us on any smart device at TTT Live Online. Are you ready to reach further with your advertising? Contact our sales team now. Call us at 622-4141 at extensions 2601 to 2607 or email us at sales@ttt.co.tt.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and welcome to the Now Morning Show here on TTT. We are also live on Talk City 91.1 FM and on Facebook at TTT Live Online. Today is World Down Syndrome Day. Carrie alongside me this morning. Carrie, you look all fancy in your socks. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Rishi. Today is World Down Syndrome Day, and we raise awareness by wearing mismatched, colorful, long socks, just very, very loud colored socks, So then that always raises the question, what I'm saying socks, like why are you wearing these socks? So then you can start the conversation. Well, today is actually World Down Syndrome Day, and you could get into that conversation and help them understand what it's all about.
Yeah, it is more of a information kind of process You know, when people ask about it, you'll be able to give them information on it. And great news this morning is we have Shamla Maraj with us this morning.
Always
we will
a good
be
time with Shamla.
having some wonderful interviews this morning with her. And so that is something to look forward to. But tell me about your socks.
So I have one side here. So I'm wearing mismatch and colorful socks. One side here is actually bacon and eggs. And it makes a smiley face, so I'm happy about that. Because, you know, breakfast is the best meal of the day. You know, you can't go wrong with breakfast. And, yeah, so we see it here on the screen. Yeah, if I can just angle it this way. Right, there we go.
Very good, Carrie. Very good. I'm very proud of you. And I'm very happy to say that the entire team this morning, they have on their colorful socks. Some of them mismatched. I even tried my best getting my socks this morning, but I was trying to get something that would match my my jersey, and I also tried the bad boy style that they had back in school.
Right, yes.
Remember, this was a style?
In the socks, yeah.
Yeah, so now people would ask me about my socks, and they would ask me about my style with my pants in my socks. And it's good, you know, people will be able to see the socks if you have your pants like this, if you have on a long pants. You, very good. I congratulate you for coming in studio, very cold studio with your short pants.
Yes, of course. But, you know, it's all for the cause and it's all for raising awareness. Because, again, as we mentioned, World Down Syndrome Day, and we have a number of people who are going to speak on that topic this morning. And I'm looking forward to those conversations because they're going to share a lot with us.
Yeah, we'll give a little bit more information on World Down Syndrome Day a little bit later on this morning. But today, Carrie, is also the official day for PAGA.
Oh, yes, you did tell us earlier in the, when was it, last week? Or was it
Monday.
this week? It was on Monday. Wow, the days are just flying past.
Yeah,
that
already.
PAGA was, it had started already? Or?
The PAGA celebration started last weekend. Right. I know a lot of schools, especially the Hindu schools today, will be having their PAGA celebrations across Trinidad and Tobago. It is the official day, so we'll be learning a little bit more about that a bit later on in the program as well, you know, the significance of it. So that is something for people to look forward to. Remember, PAGA is something that started way back in 1845. So, you know, a lot of history when it comes to that. So I'm looking forward to it. A lot of people around Trinidad and Tobago will be having PAGA celebrations on Sunday because today is a work day and people have to go to work.
Right.
They don't want to get too messed up to go to work. So most places will have their celebrations on Sunday. So two things to look forward to today. But also, Carrie, and some great news for Trinidad and Tobago is that we were able to win 56 medals at the Special Olympics in Abu Dhabi.
That is amazing news. Our team has been doing so well, and we see some wonderful pictures coming up of them right now, and some of the guys with their medals there. But imagine that, 56 medals, and they're just doing us proud, like, all the way.
Yeah, and you know, for them to go and represent Trinidad and Tobago so well, you know, it says a lot about us. And the thing is, we only competed in 5 events at the Special Olympics.
Right.
And to win 56 medals at just 5 events, it shows that, you know, if we invest more in different sports, Trinidad and Tobago can go further than this.
That's right. You know, and they are blazing the trail. They are setting a great example, I would say. And, you know, they pretty much took every medal.
Yeah, so, you know, as soon as they come back, we will be having them here.
Yeah, we need to have them here. We need to have a chat with them as well. And, you know, big congratulations to the team out there that represented us so well at the Special Olympics.
Yeah, and I just want to hold the medals. I just want to hold the medals, yeah. Now, in some news, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, National Security Minister Stuart Young, Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith, they met with Muslim leaders in Trinidad and Tobago yesterday. And the Prime Minister gave the commitment that Muslims in Trinidad and Tobago will be treated fairly. And the meeting surrounded what took place in Venezuela, my apologies, in New Zealand, where there was the shooting incident in Christchurch, where over 50 people died.
Yeah, that was definitely a tragic situation there. And, you know, the stance now that the New Zealand Prime Minister is taking is that they are strengthening gun laws, and she actually, as of, I believe, yesterday, made it illegal for the sale of military-style automatic rifles and the like. So big moves there in I almost said Venezuela like you did, New Zealand.
Yeah, and the thing is, right, it's good that the Prime Minister and government officials, the police commissioner, decided to have this meeting. It shows that they're taking a proactive measure in trying to ensure that Trinidad and Tobago doesn't see something like that.
Right.
So it's good to see that happening, and you can stay with us on TTT. We'd have more on that conversation throughout the day. I know Karen Kuzia Phillips, she was there last evening, and you will hear a lot more about that. But for now, Carrie, it's time for us to check out the traffic situation.
All right, let's take a look at our traffic update, brought to you by TrafficTT.com, sponsored by Ultimate Solutions.
Today's traffic update is made possible by TrafficTT.com, and sponsored by Ultimate Solutions Limited. We make it happen.
And we are here at the Arangua stretch here on the Churchill Roosevelt Highway. And as we see right now, there's a number of vehicles heading on that westbound lane toward Port of Spain. It seems to be very, very busy at this point in time. And as we panned out there just slightly, we got a glimpse of the eastbound lane as well. On the eastbound side, it's very, very nice and smooth. No worries there. But as we pan across looking in a westerly direction, we can see that on the westbound side, there's quite a bit of congestion. It's getting sticky at this point in time. I believe it will get a little stickier as the time passes by, as we enter that peak hour of the morning for those who are heading to work, school, and the like. But for now, remember, if you're in that traffic, take it easy. You could stay with us on Talk City 91.1 FM. We'll keep you company, and hopefully we can make that drive to work or your commute, wherever you're going this morning, a little more pleasant. All right, and that's a wrap for this traffic update.
Today's traffic update is made possible by TrafficTT.com and sponsored by Ultimate Solutions Limited. We make it happen.
Yeah, the Now Morning Show here on TTT. We have a lot in store for you this morning. As we mentioned a short while ago, Shamla Miraj, she is in with us. Today is World Down Syndrome Day, and we will be having a lot of segments on that. It's also the official day for PAGWA. We'll be having a conversation on that and so much more, so you definitely have to stay with us for that.
1st of March is World Down Syndrome Day. It was created to celebrate the life of people with Down syndrome and to make sure that people with Down syndrome have some freedoms and opportunities as everybody else. The 21st of March marks with 3 copies of chromosome 21. This is unique to people with Down syndrome. Down Syndrome International first launched the global website in 2006. In 2011, Down Syndrome International asked Brazil to propose that the 21st of March become part of the United Nations calendar. Now on the 21st each year, Down Syndrome International calls everyone to action with people theme to ensure the human rights of people with Down syndrome. Holds events at the United Nations office in New York, USA, and in Geneva in Switzerland. Works with its members to organise worldwide activities and discussions. Every year, more and more people take action on that day. This includes people with Down syndrome, families and friends and supporters, school, companies and civil groups, governments and communities. Join us promote full inclusion on World Down Syndrome Day.
Every drop counts, every drop counts. Let's use water conservation to combat high evaporation. Tell them no. Every drop counts, every drop counts. Your part you must play. Use your water responsibly.
The Met Office has advised that this dry season will be hotter than usual, which means our surface level water reserves will be less due to higher levels of evaporation. WASA is doing its part to manage our water supply, but we need your help. Here are 5 very important tips we can all use to help conserve water. 1. Turn off the tap while brushing your teeth. 2. Fix leaky pipes around the house. 3. Time your gardening. Mornings are better for watering. 4. Wash with full loads instead of 1 or 2 items. 5. Time your showers so you use a little less water. By applying these methods, we can conserve on average 1 million gallons of water per day. I'm sure you know of many other ways to help conserve water at home, so let's do this together.
Every drop counts, every drop counts.
Remember, every drop counts. A message from the Ministry of Public Utilities.
Maximize your impact when you advertise on TTT Live Online. With TTT Live Online, your brand can be seen by viewers in TNT and all around the world via our social media pages. Our audience is growing every day. TTT Live Online has reached over 260,000 followers across Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And you can bet they're watching. Our statistics show the live stream of the Now Morning Show reaches tens of thousands of viewers each day. Our Our news and entertainment pieces draw hundreds of thousands of views across all platforms. And you have an opportunity to be integrated into or featured alongside all this amazing content. Are you ready to maximize impact? Contact our sales team now. Call 622-4141 at extensions 2601 to 2607 or email us at sales@ttt.co.tt.
How's your pa doing?
He's not doing so good, and it's like getting worse.
Them can't kill me, boy. I is a stone wall and tell your mother that the boss come home.
Come here.
Ain't he the man who Rosalie did show the place when all of them just moved up here last month?
Rosalie?
That's my room.
I want to go in the bush with Mr. Gadari tomorrow.
Gadari? Oh, you mean the man with the Creole wife?
Yeah.
Where you want to go?
Only land.
Hey, always keep your cutlass in your hand when you're in the bush, boy. You never know what could happen. You don't give me that. You don't give me that. You're from down the beach. And down the beach, people don't know nothing about bush.
This life ain't easy. Matter what it seems. Still I'm holding on.
You enjoying it?
I'm enjoying it bad, girl.
Dreams I drifting on the river pool. Got to make it now.
The girl named June. She's from Sandy Grande.
I see.
I know my spirit is calling. Sunshine, sweet, sweet lover, sacred lover, only lover.
Welcome back, everybody. What you just saw was an excerpt from the film Green Days by the River. And with me this morning is Colonel Alexander, who is an actor in the movie, and he played the character Joe. Now remember, the television series, the television premiere of Green Days by the River will be here on TTT April 21st, which is Easter Sunday, and that is at 3 p.m. So after church and after lunch, Sunday lunch on Easter Sunday, you can catch Green Days by the River only on TTT. All right, Colonel Alexander, good morning and welcome. So how was your experience playing Joe in the movie?
Well, my experience was really amazing because Joe is what people would tell me all the time when they see me. Joe is me.
Joe is you?
Yeah. So getting the role and reading the script, I was like, okay, they want me to play myself. So
really? So you didn't have much preparation to do in regards to playing Joe?
No.
Except for the actual script?
Yeah, the script was kind of long, but that was my first feature film. So going on set and getting exposed to that whole movie setting.
Right.
It was a first for me, but playing Joe was really, really normal for me.
Just being yourself?
Yeah, just being.
All right, well, then tell me about the character Joe, so which you would therefore be telling me about yourself.
Well, one thing I wanted to leave out was Joe is trouble. But I don't want people to be thinking that you are trouble, right? But Joe is a guy, he's really out there. Like, in terms of what you'd see in the movie with Nadia and I was a really troublesome guy toward her.
Right.
So she kind of left me and went toward for Sugai, for Shell.
Yeah.
But Joe is outspoken. You know, he's not a shy person.
Okay.
In that sense, yeah.
So you're a little rough around the edges in some ways?
Yeah.
Now, I have not yet seen the movie, and I'm really looking forward to the premiere on Easter Sunday. So I don't know much about the characters themselves. So forgive me if I ask questions that may seem a little obvious to you. Like, but yeah, did you see the movie? No, I didn't see the movie. So
no problem.
So we see just in the background there, we see a little bit more of the clips of the movie showing there. But did you have any? You said it was your first time doing anything like this. First time. So was it your first time acting on screen?
Well, yeah, I usually do plays you know, live plays and stuff, but this was my actual first film.
Well, funny enough, I've heard people who are in theatre who had then been part of productions that were for the screen in front of a camera. Funny enough, they said that it was more difficult for them being a character or playing a character in front of a camera versus in front of hundreds of people live. What was the experience like for you?
Well, I would beg to differ in a little bit, because in front of people, it would be like, yeah, it's one take and that's it.
Right.
But in front of a camera, you then see all the little glitches and stuff.
Right.
So you think that you're doing everything good, and then you hear the director say, cut. And that's it.
Yeah.
So you have to go back, and I'm there thinking, wow, this is a really bad thing, because I don't know if I'm doing anything wrong or if I'm doing it right. And then the director, he's really supportive, so he would come and he'd say, okay, you're doing everything well, but I just need this one thing from you.
Right.
You know, so, and I felt really, really comfortable on screen as an actual first-time actor for a film. Yeah, I was really, really comfortable.
So on day one of filming, what was your feeling like?
That was the most nervous day, because I was actually the last actor to come onto the cast.
Right.
So when I got the script and I read through it and stuff, keeping in mind that I did not read the book before.
Right.
So
neither have I.
Yeah. So when they told me that I got the part, I looked at the book, I read through the book, and I got the script. And on the first day, I was sitting with Che, and he was trying to calm me down because my nerves were all over the place.
Right.
And he was telling me, okay, this is not his first film, so he can give me a few pointers.
A few pointers, right.
Yeah, so while in the car going down the road, I'm looking through the script, and I'm praying to God that I don't mess up.
But the thing is, like, in front of a camera, you know, as you were saying, the director says cut and stuff. The beauty of being in front of the camera for recorded production, you know, you have a second chance, you know. So, like, say on stage, if you mess up and it's really bad, people are going to see it and they're like, okay, he messed up. But in front of a camera, I think there should have been a little bit of comfort there.
Yeah.
So, how did you get out of those nerves? Did you develop some sort of pre-filming ritual, for instance?
Well, I have actors as mentors, so I just sit there and remember Keanu Reeves and those kind of guys. So I would just be there thinking about, okay, what would he do in this situation?
He'd probably dodge bullets in slow motion backward.
And I've also learned to think happy thoughts when I'm nervous. So I just think about a whole lot of things that would make me happy.
Right.
And that would help me concentrate. So I'm there looking at the script, and I'm reading the script, but sometimes my mind is elsewhere.
Yeah.
So when they come now and they're like, okay, Joe, it's time to fly you in. So I'm going on set and happy thoughts.
Nice. So you sit down and you collect yourself a little bit and then get your mind focused on the task at hand and just think happy things, and so then that subsides the nerves.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe I should take some cues from you.
Yeah, it would help. It would help.
All right, nice. So will you be here for the premiere of it on the 21st? Oh, nice. That'll be fantastic. You know, Rishi, will you be here?
I'm expecting to be. If my boss says I have to be here, then I have no choice but to be here. So.
Yeah, well, you're oftentimes here on weekends anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Hopefully I will be here. I'm looking forward to seeing the movie. I, like you, well, at that point, didn't read the book yet.
Yeah. I haven't read the book yet.
I probably want to read the book before I see the movie.
I don't know. I think I'll read the book after.
After? Why?
Yeah. I think I want to see what the movie is like itself and then read the original work. Just because there have been other things where I had read the book already, and then I saw the movie that they did, and I was like, that didn't happen in the book. That didn't happen in the book either, you know. And then I was a little dejected. I was like, gosh, like, you know, it wasn't the same experience. So I think this time around, because, well, it's right there, it's the 21st, I will look at the movie.
It will take you 2 days to read the book?
Probably, yeah. I'm an avid reader, so. So maybe.
It's Easter Sunday?
Easter Sunday, yep, April 21st at 3 p.m. right here on TTT. And of course, it will be the television premiere. And we saw on Monday, Lisa signed the contract with the with the film creator. And
right here.
Definitely awesome. All right, so Joe, Colonel Alexander, thanks for joining us this morning, and definitely looking forward to seeing that movie on the 21st.
Yes.
All right, so Rishi, we'll give it over to you because I know it's time for news now.
Yes, it is. A senior advisor to the Dominican government has warned of a possible erosion of Caribbean unity as he criticized the decision of United States President Donald Trump to meet with select regional leaders tomorrow to discuss issues ranging from Venezuela to Chinese economic intervention in the Caribbean. Donald Trump has invited the leaders of the Bahamas, Jamaica, St. Lucia, Haiti and the Dominican Republic to the meeting. Senior counsel Anthony Astafan said none of the selected prime ministers who will meet with Donald Trump has the authority or the jurisdiction to speak on behalf of CARICOM. He said he believes the regional leaders, especially those from the OECS, have shown complete disrespect for the unity of the OECS. Fishermen in Cedros are calling for more patrols in the area as they say they are being attacked by Venezuelan pirates. The call came a day after Minister of National Security Stuart Young visited the area. The fishermen say they were attacked off a jetty and the pirates took belongings worth more than $30,000. The search for an officer of the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment, Corporal Gerard James, is on. According to the Coast Guard, Corporal James went missing on Friday at around 4:30 p.m. when he went fishing with two other people. The other two people have been found, and based on the drift pattern, the Coast Guard has contacted Venezuelan authorities for assistance and has now expanded its search. And that was News Now on TTT.
Alright, and that was the news. Thank you for that, Rishi. Welcome back, everybody. This is the Now Morning Show right here on TTT, also on Talk City 91.1 FM, TTT Live online, and on the World Wide Web at ttt.live. Now, earlier this month, we commemorated International Women's Day, and there is something that the U.S. Embassy is doing in regards to that to help empower women, and we are going to speak about the Young Leaders of the Americas initiative that the U.S. Embassy is sponsoring this year. And with me this morning is Deirdre Leakin and also Michael G. Barrera of the U.S. Embassy. Good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, good morning. All right, so tell me about the Young Leaders of the Americas initiative.
So this was an initiative that was actually launched in 2016 under the Obama government. And we had a pilot of 3 people that went to Washington. One was from Trinidad.
Right.
And then in 2017, it was repeated with 250 people from the Caribbean and Latin America.
Wow.
5 were from Trinidad. And on returning, the relationship that was established with the embassy was to sort of create and foster more empowerment for entrepreneurship and young entrepreneurs in Trinidad.
All right, so tell me, so this one in particular is focused on female entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. Tell me about the importance of supporting this specifically for female entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. So the U.S. Embassy through the YLI program, we're actually very excited about this because this is the first time we're actually doing this in Trinidad and Tobago. The idea is that we bring exactly what Deidre was saying, some of the top YLI representatives from around the Caribbean region, bring them all here and then do a twofold conference. One about how they can better their businesses, but more importantly, what the focus of this one is and what separates it from other, you hear talk shops and trainings, is they're going to take those, go back to the community, and then give back and see how they themselves in that position of power and what they've learned can help improve the community, reducing crime and helping the economic standards of their community.
Oh, that's excellent. So coming out of the first one in 2016, how has it increased now? How has it improved over the years?
Oh, wow. So the YLI network is not just the YLI alumni. There's actually the network, and it has grown from 2016 to over 34,000 people right now.
Wow.
And they're all actually just doing workshops, doing different initiatives in their countries. We collaborate across the Caribbean. We collaborate with Latin America. For this conference, we actually have 12 participants coming in from the Caribbean and Latin America, from Costa Rica, Venezuela, Jamaica, Guyana, Barbados. And we've been planning to do an outreach program in this conference. So on the last day, we'll actually be going out to 3 communities in Trinidad, at Rio Claro, Diego Martin, and Chaguanas.
Okay.
And we'll be doing like a talk with women, and the participants who are coming in will go back to their countries and repeat it there.
We'll repeat the talks or everything that they learn to carry it across to then spread the knowledge even further. That's really excellent. So tell me a little bit about the conference coming up.
So we have a really great lineup of speakers. We have the president of AFET. We have Akosua Edwards, who recently had Bodacious Girls Empowerment Gala. A lot of these sessions are not just those regular talking sessions that you have at conferences. They're very interactive. So the girls get together and they talk about the problems that they face in their communities, the problems they have within their own startups, what's the challenges they've been facing in growing their businesses. And the sessions are focused on helping them to understand solutions that are being implemented in different communities, different countries, and how they can put them into their own companies.
Michael, when it comes to the challenges that she mentioned, what are some of the common ones that you have seen have affected young entrepreneurs, especially in the Caribbean and Latin American region?
I think there's a number of them. One of the biggest obstacles that we need to overcome is there are a lot of people who are doing good work in this space. You have some government-sponsored organizations, you have private sector organizations in academia. Our job at the embassy and what we really want to focus on for this year in particular is creating this kind of hub where it connects all of these individuals and resources that are doing all of that, and then finally kind of like a one-stop shop where they'll be able to say, I live in Arima, I focus on agriculture, and I need startup capital. How can you help me? And the idea is that if we break down those barriers of kind of stovepiping, then maybe we can combine all of the force of all of these initiatives that are going forward. So I think just the knowledge base and understanding where to go, a lot of entrepreneurs, they kind of get overwhelmed and they get frustrated. We all know to be a successful entrepreneur, you need grit, and that's something that needs to get overcome as well.
Yeah, definitely. Deidre said earlier that, there were some 12 delegates that came from the Caribbean and Latin Americas. What was the requirements for them to be selected?
Well, I think there were a number of things that we were looking at. Number one, they had to be active within the YLI space and entrepreneurship. But one of the biggest things is we're talking about change makers here. People who are dedicated not only to the bottom line, but also going back to their communities and doing that, which is why at the end, Deidre would have mentioned we're doing these exercises within the communities. One thing I want to focus on, so these are hand-picked kind of superstars within their own universe, right? Yeah. And why did we focus on women? That might be a good question. Because essentially we wanted to get things done. Studies show that women entrepreneurs and business owners compared to men are more likely to pursue their passion and more likely to get involved in the community. That's something that I know it might be tough to fess up with as a former entrepreneur, but seriously, getting things done is kind of what it's about. So our idea is that we bring in all of these powerful individuals in this one space, they share, and then again after that, it can't be a talk shop. They have to go out and really bring it back to the community.
Right. All right, so the conference, who is it open to specifically? Is it open to the public, or is it an invitation list of individuals, as you have mentioned, who go give back to their community? Or is it some way that young female entrepreneurs could, within the space, could access this and get hold of this information?
I'm going to tackle that one.
So the conference itself, just for this year, so we're going to try to have it, we're going to scale it up and try to do it every year. This year was open to the YLI network. So there was an application. That's how they were chosen. But the community day, which is the last day, the 30th of March, when we're in the communities, it is open to the public. So we're inviting all the women, all the young ladies, come meet with us, meet our Latin American and Caribbean friends who are here, have a chat with us. We'll be at the Boost Community Center in Rio Claro, at the Chaguanas Community Center in Crissy Trace in Chaguanas, and we'll be at the St. James Police Youth Club in Diego Martin.
And this all happens on the same day?
Yes.
So you have different agents, so to say, who would be at the various locations?
Yeah, we're breaking up into 3 groups.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for all you've shared this morning. Do wish you the best moving forward for that. And as you said, the women get things done. So,
exactly.
we really expect a lot out of it and see the impact they would have on the communities involved as well.
Could I just say one more thing?
Sure.
For those who are involved and wanting to get involved, check out the RISE website.
Yes.
And also our Facebook page. The Y-Line Network is something that we do annually. We're sending these individuals to the United States. And the only way to find out about that is following us on Facebook, following us on Twitter, following us on Instagram. Not only that, Youth Ambassadors, there's a ton of these programs where people can get involved. Maybe not necessarily for this conference, except for this Saturday, but every year we're looking for those bright, shining stars.
All right, that is excellent. All right, and that website would be www.riset.com. All right, thank you so much, Michael Barrera and Deirdre Leakin, for all you've shared this morning. We wish you the best moving forward, and we only see good things coming out of it.
You will.
All right, so we have this and so much more in our program. Still a lot ahead. Stay with us.
I don't know what to do, Mom. He's my children's father, and I really love him, but he only reacts like this when he drinks.
Ma'am, I will ensure that you get all the help that you need.
The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is devoted to providing assistance to victims of domestic violence. If you're a victim of domestic violence, a report should be made to the police immediately so the matter can be addressed in the most appropriate manner. Domestic violence is very serious. Do not wait until it's too late.
News happens anytime, anywhere. And when it happens, we are there. We report the news in real time. TTT News. Connect.
Who cares?
Who cares?
Who really cares?
Who cares? I care, because I know that cancer is the leading cause of death worldwide. Over 7.6 million people die each year, and in 20 years that number is set to triple. You can do something about that. Get screened for early detection. It's a key to survival. I care because cancer doesn't.
Never leave tools and ladders lying around your house. They may be used to gain entry into your home. Don't let this be you. A message from the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Now Morning Show here on TTT. We are also live on Talk City 91.1 FM and on Facebook at TTT Live Online. Today, as we said earlier, is Pagua. Today, March 21st. Remember, Pagua started like in 1845, so that was a really, really long time ago. And we continue to celebrate here in Trinidad and Tobago, but many of us, we don't know the significance of it. We are joined now by Pandit Rudra Sharma, who is no stranger to us here. He was here with us during the Diwali celebrations that we've had. And so welcome. Good morning.
Sitaram. Good morning, namaste. How are you doing today?
I am good. How are you?
Good. Can't complain.
Pagua, it started in 1845 when our ancestors came to Trinidad and Tobago, but many people don't understand the significance of it. From where you sit, what is the significance of Pagua or Holi?
So similar to Diwali, Pagua is also, the victory of good over evil as well too. So, today Pagua has commenced, and as well, what we would have performed yesterday, something called Holika Dahan, in which they had the traditional, burning of Holika. But from a religious perspective, Pagua has been before 1845. It has been celebrated in India. But, as you correctly said, only when our ancestors came to Trinidad, they started to celebrate Pagua here as well too. So basically, they had this demon by the name of Hiranyakashipu, and he had a son by the name of Prahalad. So Hiranyakashipu, he wanted everyone to worship him, but Prahalad decided that he wants to worship God. And because of this, Hiranyakashipu, he tried to kill Prahalad. He tried to throw him off a cliff. He tried to have his army kill him. But one of the more significant methods that he tried was having his sister, Holika, try to kill Prahalad. What she did was that she sat in this bonfire, you should say, and had him sit in her lap, and they lit the fire. So what prevented Holika from being burnt, her special gift, I should say, is that she used a special urni, what Hindu women, they cover their heads with. And it said when she's covered with this urni, she can't be burnt by fire. So what happened is that Prahalad's faith was so strong in God, Vishnu Bhagwan. They said that Vishnu Bhagwan let the breeze blow, and it blew away this urni from her, and the flames engulfed her. And that's why, the day before Pagua starts, Holika Dahan, we have the burning of Holika. But they said that following this, Hiranyakashipu, he became even more angry, and he decided to kill Prahalad on his own. But Vishnu Bhagwan, this story comes from the Vishnu Purana of our scriptures. Vishnu Bhagwan, he came in the form of a god or a deity called Narsingh, which was half man and half lion as well. And he's the one who was able to kill Hiranyakashipu and save Prahalad. The reason that God took this form of, half man and half beast, it's because Hiranyakashipu, he was given this wish from God that it's very lengthy, but the gist of it is that he was given this boon that he shouldn't be killed by man or beast or by any weapons or inside or outside. So basically what God did was that God placed him on his lap under, the door frame, and that's where God slayed this demon.
Interesting story there. And the thing is, a lot of people look at it as a celebration. From what I understand, it's the coming of spring in India as well.
Definitely. So what happens is that it's when winter is coming to an end and spring begins. And this period of time, actually, you would realize that the pundits would tell you, we don't really perform puja during this period of time. It's called Kalmas. And what happens is that this is the time that we celebrate, victory over evil. So that's why when the demon was slain, everyone started to celebrate with, these colorful powders, a lot of red, bright, vibrant colors. So that's where the celebration came into perspective. As well, too, Kalmas is also the time where they begin plowing of the land. So, our ancestors, they depended tremendously on agriculture. So, for such reasons, pujas would have been pushed back as well to further down into the year, because this time is when they would have started to plow the land. One of the significant traditions that we upkeep as well too is that they plant this castor bean plant. It's 40 days prior to Holika Dahan, which was yesterday. It's the same spot that they burn Holika as well too. And the reason it's so intertwined that 40 days usually calculates back to Saraswati Jayanti, which was 40 days ago. But basically the significance of this plant is that, it grows without being taken care. You don't have to take care of it much.
Yeah.
So when they plant this castor bean plant, it shows that, from being the small seed, we can grow into something very beautiful.
And there is something you mentioned, the burning of Holika. That took place last night. Several places across Trinidad and Tobago. Why is it done the night before?
So it is said that what it the significance of the burning of the holika the night before, it's a tradition that, you know, it shows the victory of good over evil, because Holika, that's another demon, or Hiranyakashipu's sister, was slain, and that's what, you know, commences the celebration.
So hopefully people can go out and have some fun during this Phagwah celebration, but also, you know, remember the significance of it and, you know, give praise to God at this time of the year as well. All right, thank you very much, Pandit Rudra Sharma, for coming on and chatting with us this morning. I want to wish you all the very best moving forward, and of course you'll be joining us as we get closer and closer to Navratri from the 5th of April. This is the Now Morning Show on TTT. We have a lot more in store for you, so stay with us.
If it matters to you, it matters to us. We report the news. News in real time. News across Trinidad and Tobago. Wherever you are. TTT News. Connect.
On any given day, at any given time.
You can have your say on Talk City 91.1 FM.
Call in, text in, send us an email. All our shows are fully interactive.
Whether we're talking politics, sports,
current affairs, social issues,
culture, and the arts. Stay in the know
with our daily news bulletin and breaking news updates.
We're committed to keeping you informed about the world around you.
And yes, we entertain you too with the best Kaiso, steel pan, and local and regional music. We are your address for talk. Talk City 91.1 FM and TalkCity91FM.com.
Whether you are on the road or at the beach, preserve our beautiful nation of which we are proud by properly disposing of your waste. Because environmental pride is national pride.
Kids, speak up against abuse.
It is not acceptable for you to be abused in any manner.
From your parents, family members, or peers.
You
have the right
to refuse
the abuse.
Report it to anyone.
Guidance counselors,
doctors, teachers, or even your neighbors.
Anyone who can help.
Speak up
against abuse. Speak up. Speak up.
Speak up.
Speak up.
Break the silence. Child abuse is one secret you should never keep.
On March the 21st, it's World Poetry Day. Let's celebrate the art that turns dreams into words and words into dreams.
Le 21 mars, c'est aussi la journée internationale des forêts. Nous célébrons tous les arbres et toutes les forêts qui abritent tant d'êtres vivants et merveilleux.
Mars as dita da Rosette. Dita festa do Bosco, dita da Potter, Lílias, surpresa das famílias.
Il 21 marzo è anche la giornata mondiale sulla sindrome di Down. Purtroppo però non abbiamo tanti motivi per festeggiare.
Pas seulement quelques-uns d'entre nous.
Have more opportunities at school.
Plus de chances dans notre vie sociale.
Then we'll have plenty of reasons to celebrate this day.
Said it's World Down Syndrome Day, and of course we have with us this morning Shamla Maraj, and she's standing by with two special guests.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. As you heard, today is World Down Syndrome Day. Hashtag lots of socks. As you can see, I have my 2 odd pairs of socks. And this is Lisa Ghani, a director of the Down Syndrome Family Network, and Dr. Floyd Morris, who is the Caribbean Rapporteur and Disability, can you correct me? Disability.
The director for the Center for Disability Studies at UWI, Mona.
Wow. So he's here as a featured speaker for the Down Syndrome Family Network's conference. Good morning, guys.
Good morning,
Good morning,
Shamla. Happy World Down Syndrome Day.
Thank you so much. So I would start with Dr. Floyd Morris. So being the special rapporteur for the Caribbean region in terms of disability, regionally, and in terms of where we are at now, do you think that our pace of development in terms of inclusion for persons with disability is where it should be?
And certainly not. We have been languishing behind in terms of putting in place the necessary infrastructure and integrating persons with disabilities in daily living activities. And we have to intensify the efforts to make sure that persons with disabilities are allowed to participate, they are included, and they are not discriminated against in the society. In 2006, the world saw the introduction of the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities.
Yeah.
And that is some 13 years ago. And we still have countries in the Caribbean that have not ratified the CRPD. We still have countries that have not put in place legislation to protect the rights of persons with disabilities. We still have individuals who believe that having a disability is contagious. So, if you touch the person with a disability, you would catch that disability. And we need to debunk those myths and those stigmas that are related to persons with disabilities. And we have to get them fully integrated in all aspects of life, get them involved in the educational institution, get them involved in the workplace, get them involved in social institutions such as clubs and societies, get them involved in the church communities. We have to make sure that persons with disabilities are fully included, because after all, they are human beings just as well.
And in terms of, I'm sure you interact with the respective ministries from different CARICOM, countries, and the mindset of the different ministers. Are they forward thinking in terms of pushing towards including people with disability?
It varies, because if the minister has a particular interest in that, they might have some family member who has a disability, or they themselves have a disability, then you will see an intensification of effort. But most ministers come from a particular social construct where they have been socialized in such a way towards persons with disabilities, and so that negative stigma is still
carried forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so what we want is a total education. When we talk about public education to change attitude, we're not talking about the ordinary man in the street alone. We're talking about policymakers. We're talking about individuals who have to implement the policies to make sure that they get a full grasp and understanding that, having a disability is not a crime. You might have a physical disability, But as I said, it is not your brain that is disabled. You might
Exactly.
you might have a visual disability. It is not your brain that is disabled, it's your eyes. And even then, with modern technology, you are able to function in a normal way. And so what we have to do is to get an understanding as to the different types of disabilities and how these individuals operate and how they can be integrated in the society. And ministers of government must ensure that the constituents that they serve, which is not just the able-bodied, make sure that they have an understanding of all the constituents that they serve, and not just to go and seek support from the disabled when it's election time.
Excellent. And Lisa Ghani, as being the director of the Down Syndrome Family Network, as a director, you know, you're always showing support, there with them 100%. What would you like to see for persons, not only with Down syndrome, because you all include holistically persons with disability when you push forward your message? What would you like to see come out, not only from the conference, but from today forward, going forward? What would you like to see happen?
Okay. Well, I was listening to Dr. Morris, and I think the things that he has just said are really, truly in keeping with the vision of the Down Syndrome Family Network. Over the last 8 years, we have tried to put early intervention and inclusion on the agenda for not just ourselves, as you said, but for the entire disability community. And our work has been mainly in advocating for the inclusion of everyone in the workplace, and particularly early intervention, because you can't get to the workplace unless you have been educated. And that's just the norm for any child that is born. You know, the parents start with preschool and kindergarten, and then move up. And depending on the ability of the child, they will decide whether they want to do a technical or vocational.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Karen Cozier Phillip. This is News Now on TTT. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has assured members of the Muslim community that the government is committed to ensuring their right to protection and equal place in Trinidad and Tobago. Dr. Rowley was speaking during a meeting with Muslim leaders at the Diplomatic Center on Wednesday when he made the statement. The Prime Minister hosted the meeting in response to security concerns raised following the recent terrorist attack in New Zealand.
This trauma is not a trauma that is confined to or will be confined to a person of any sect. God forbid any such thing happens in our country, large or small, of scale of violence. It affects every household in this country. And therefore, if you accept that, then you must also accept that the state has a responsibility to be informed as to what threats we are facing and from whom, and to make the decision to protect the wider national community from individuals of whatever race, color, creed, or class, or standing, or geographical location, who pose a threat to that protection, that promise of that phrase in our national anthem.
Stricter measures need to be implemented when dealing with persons who are guilty of illegal firearms possession. This from head of TTPS's Southern Division, Senior Superintendent Zamshid Mohammed, when asked why 24 of the 55 persons held with illegal firearms were only fined, while 31 received sentencing.
I am of the firm view that a firearm is a dangerous thing in the hands of someone illegally, and it can cause fatality to ordinary law-abiding citizens, and more serious stern measures should be taken.
Meanwhile, holders of firearm licenses are being reminded to pay the necessary fees by April 1st. Under Section 21C of the Firearms Act, the Commissioner of Police may revoke any license, certificate, or permit in the case of the holder of various licenses for non-payment of the various fees. Acting Superintendent Wayne Meister informed such holders that officers will be at the various police posts on Sunday, March 31st to facilitate payments.
This is just a public advisory to all holders of firearm users license. This is just to remind you on behalf of the Commissioner that persons need to pay the fees that is associated with having an FUL on or before the 1st of April 2019.
A pre-action protocol letter is to be sent by the leader of the Progressive Democratic Patriots, Watson Duke, to the Secretary of Health, Agatha Carrington, with regard to the dismissal of 8 doctors at the Tobago Regional Health Authority. Mr. Duke contends that there are irregularities occurring at the institution, financial as well, regarding work practices.
It's plagued with a disease called self-importance, where the Secretary of Health has robed herself in a garment of self-importance.
He says that Ms. Carrington's arrogance is the cause of young doctors being given illegal contracts and being unable to perform in their chosen field.
The laws that govern contract employment in this country ranges from 1 year to 3 years. That is what it ranges from. There is no such thing as a month-to-month government contract, and I challenge them to give us the authority that they're using, they're relying upon to give people in Tobago and in Trinidad month-to-month contract.
To some sports news now. Beaten but by no means disgraced as the undercooked TT Warriors held Wales to a narrow 1-0 defeat in their much-anticipated friendly at the Wrexham Racecourse ground. A resilient Trinidad and Tobago threatened to keep a sellout crowd quiet throughout, and in fact did just that for 90 minutes, until they had their bubble burst in the most cruel of fashions and in added-on time. With only 3 weeks of preparation here at home, with a bunch of players who are out of season, and after having just 2 training sessions together as a full unit with their European stars, the TT outfit more than held its own against 19th-ranked Wales. TT kept it scoreless at the half, and in fact looked poised for a remarkable goalless result until Lady Luck smiled on the home team. Ben Woodburn, who was excellent in the second half for Wales, got a deserved goal for his efforts, chesting in Will Vaulks's lofted cross to the back post for the only goal of the match. It was ideal preparation for Wales, who faces Slovakia in Cardiff on Sunday, while the Warriors return home to continue their build-up to the Gold Cup in the United States. That brings us to the end of News Now on TTT. I am Karen Kozier-Phillip.
Reach further when you advertise with TTT, Suite 100, Next 99.1, and Talk City 91.1 FM. Whether it's television, radio, or social media, our stations belong to the only broadcast network with 100% coverage across Trinidad and Tobago. That's a fact. From Port of Spain to Point Fortin, Crown Point to Charlottesville, every household in TNT can easily access our signal. TTT remains the only broadcaster with live capability from multiple locations in the country, making us the most dependable source of information for events of national importance. Find us on any smart device at TTT Live Online. Are you ready to reach further with your advertising? Contact our sales team now. Call us at 622-4141 at extensions 2601 to 2607 or email us at sales@ttt.co.tt.
Welcome back everybody to the Now Morning Show here on TTT. We are also live on Talk City 91.1 FM and on Facebook at TTT Live Online. Before the break, Shamla Miraj, the host of Unique Not Different on Tuesdays, she's here with us today as we commemorate World Down Syndrome Day. She was chatting with Lisa Ghani of the Down Syndrome Family Network and Floyd Morris, Disability Director of the Mona campus at the University of the West Indies. And we want her to continue that conversation now because it is important, Shamla, for us to get this information out there.
Yeah. And, okay, so as I continue, Dr. Morris, I noticed that you yourself have a disability, visually impaired or blind?
I'm totally blind.
Okay.
Yeah. I got blind some 30 years ago after graduating from high school and developing glaucoma. So, I graduated and was unable to complete my education, but, thankfully, I was able to get rehabilitated, went to the Jamaican Society for the Blind, went to the University of the West Indies and, completed my first, second, and my PhD, and now working at the institution as a lecturer and the head of the Center for Disability Studies.
That's incredible. Seriously, to get a disability during the course of your life and then just push forward like that and aim and reach so high.
Yes.
That is commendable. Lisa Ghani, in terms of today, we are hashtagging lots of socks. Can you tell me the meaning of lots of socks? And in terms of Trinidad and Tobago, are they fully aware? And do you see people participating?
Well, Lots of Socks has really taken off. We launched it 8 years ago, and of course at that time it was a very small campaign, but it is part of the whole communication strategy for advocacy for and awareness for Down syndrome. So we don't do it in isolation. We do it along with our conference, workshops, and other activities.
Right.
But it is a fun way to get people involved, especially young people in the schools and at every level. The kids love it, and what the schools have started to do is that they run projects prior to World Down Syndrome Day, where they do stories. My grandson actually came home telling me a story about Down syndrome because they did an activity, and he's 4 years old. So the schools are taking it up, and then on the day itself, they may do an assembly or some sort of activity again.
Right.
Sometimes the kids give up their pocket money, and they contribute that money to the network, and we go in and we do an activity or a presentation with them there. So the socks really were chosen because they look like a chromosome, and as you know, people with Down syndrome have an extra chromosome. So this is an international campaign. It wasn't thought up by me, so I can't take the credit for it. And it's done internationally, and so therefore the reason is we wear this and we want someone to ask us, why are you wearing your funky socks or your crazy socks? And we have then an opportunity to debunk the myths, like Senator Morris said about it. You don't catch Down syndrome. You know, children with Down syndrome are born to parents who are very young. You don't have to be 45 to have a child with Down syndrome. In fact, it's much more frequent in younger parents. But there is a propensity in older parents that they need to check. So, you know, there are lots of other facts like that.
I had two guests on my segment, Unique Not Different, Surya and Daniel. And they were so amazing. Surya, you know, he showed up his talent and he was working, you know, being in mainstream society. And Daniel, it was so touching to know that Daniel could have learned the notes of the pan and still, you know, schools would look at him and say, he's incompetent to come into school.
Correct.
So it's so sad. And Dr. Morris, in closing, what would you like to tell, you know, people of Trinidad and Tobago, CARICOM and the world about persons with disability, persons with Down syndrome?
Well, you know, I must say that I have to commend the CARICOM Secretariat for stepping forward and establishing the office of the CARICOM Special Rapporteur on Disability, coming out of the declaration of Patientville in 2013, which called for the establishment of regional rapporteur to drive the disability agenda within the region. And they chose me to assist in driving the agenda. And in so doing, we have to make sure that over the next couple of years, we focus on changing the legislative environment within the Caribbean, make sure that we have an inclusive educational system,
right.
Make sure that we get persons with disabilities employed, and also to push the public education agenda so that people can be more aware of persons with disabilities, and at the end of the day, to have a participatory, inclusive, and non-discriminatory Caribbean.
Thank you. And Lisa, tomorrow is the conference. Can you just give the audience some information about the conference quickly?
Sure. The conference is at the Hyatt Regency.
Right.
It starts at 9 a.m. in the morning. We have a lineup of excellent speakers. Senator Morris, our special self-advocate, Emmanuel Bishop from the United States, and two other guest speakers, one from the University of Colorado and the National Down Syndrome Society policy advisor, Stephanie Smith-Lee, along with our ministry of officials, the Minister of Gender and Child Affairs.
Yes.
She will also be giving the feature address.
Okay.
So we registration, you can register online still, or you can come down and register tomorrow morning between 8 and 9.
Okay, guys, so that was it for Lisa and Dr. Floyd Morris. Thank you so much, and hashtag lots of socks. Take care, guys. Be good, do good.
Pleasure.
Absolutely fantastic work there, Shamla Miraj. And of course, lots of socks, and we can see many of our guests are coming in with their socks this morning, and our crew members as well, you know, showing support, raising awareness for World Down Syndrome Day. So this is the Now Morning Show here on TTT. We take a break and come back with more. Stay with us.
Receive a free Kindle Fire 7 HD with Alexa features when you purchase any of our highly effective JJ and Friends educational programs. The JTAP Junior Suite for children 2 to 5 years, the JTAP Suite for children 6 to 8 years, and the SEA Suite for students in standards 3 to 5 preparing for the SEA exam. It's the best of both worlds, amazing educational programs and a free Kindle Fire 7.
When they have a tablet in their hands,
they become so much more engaged. It's the new pencil, it's the new paper, it's the new book.
It's education everywhere at all times.
It's totally different than the classroom that we grew up in. It's the future.
I would encourage any parent to buy this product.
You are setting the future for your children.
I see a great improvement in my child.
I'm 100% satisfied with the JJ and Friends Phonics program.
It has changed my life. It has changed the life of my two sons.
This is a special introductory offer available for a limited time only. Call now 800-READ. That's 800-7323.
Maximize your impact when you advertise on TTT Live Online. With TTT Live Online, your brand can be seen by viewers in TNT and all around the world via our social media pages. Our audience is growing every day. TTT Live Online has reached over 260,000 followers across Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And you can bet they're watching. Our statistics show the live stream of the Now Morning Show reaches tens of thousands of viewers each day. Our news and entertainment pieces draw hundreds of thousands of views across all platforms. And you have an opportunity to be integrated into or featured alongside all this amazing content. Are you ready to maximize impact? Contact our sales team now. Call 622-4141 at extensions 2601 to 2607 or email us at sales@ttt.co.tt.
Oh yes, welcome back everybody. The Now Morning Show here on TTT. Shamla Miraj just did that interview there as we commemorate World Down Syndrome Day. We continue to raise awareness for that. And it is time for us to cross over to Sweet 100.1 FM where we join Mark Anthony. Now, Mark, good morning, sir. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Rishi. How are you doing this morning?
I am great. I am still... I don't know what happened yesterday. I don't know what happened yesterday, but I really felt sorry for you.
Oh, yes. Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday, yes. When you were singing Family Lele
that's
and
a cheap
Lisa,
shot, boy.
oh my
cheap
goodness,
shot Lisa
Mark.
took there, boy. And I see that was all that you guys decided to post, huh? Just like poor Carrie last week. So, it's all in good fun.
Well, Mark, I felt horrible for you, you know. I'm like, how could they do Mark Hernandez that?
Wow, boy.
The Mark. And Carrie is joining me now, and you know, he was...
I think it was all in defense of Carrie, so...
I didn't see the entire thing, so now you need to put it in context.
Well, I was actually just sharing a little something from the song, and Carrie gave Lisa the signal. And I saw when he gave her the signal, you know, and then Lisa just...
Carrie, you had it out for Mark.
No, we didn't. I personally didn't have it out for Mark. I was having good fun because, you know, last week the new hashtag was Carrie Hulk. So
today's Mark Burns.
Mark Burns.
Mark Burns, but I spoke to Lisa last night and she said, well, you know, I mean, take one for the team. You know?
Okay, good. But what is happening at Sweet 100 these days?
These days, you know, like you were supposed to check us yesterday.
I was off yesterday. Well, I was off in the morning. I actually had to come and do news in the evening.
I mean, you said that you were coming through. I mean, so I looked out for you, and you said that.
Let's hold Sandra Mirage responsible.
Oh, we name dropping this morning. Name dropping. We're dropping some bombs this morning. But Rishi, I mean, we did look out for you yesterday because I saved a space and a couple songs for you, and you said that you were also going to be checking me, and Carrie's going to come down also. But I know how it is sometimes with a busy schedule. You're managing so many different things. But there's always next week.
Always next week, and Carrie will be joining me next week.
We will see about that one because Carrie, you know, very busy also. Well, I'll have a couple of jobs going on this morning. You know?
I appreciate that you understand that, Mark. But you know, it's never that I don't want to come. Sometimes it's just that it's difficult for me to make it, considering how many responsibilities I have at the same time. But you know what? Next week I'm coming down. I will clear my schedule. And Rishi and I will come across.
Exactly. We'll see. So that is something.
And join you all at our sweet sister station there at 100.1. And again, special good morning to all the listeners there from the Now Morning Show and the team here.
Definitely. Yeah. And I saw you rocking your socks this morning. I saw Rishi rocking his socks also, and he was giving the story about, you know, when he was in school and going down memory lane and all of that. But I mean, so I tried to do the same this morning, and I don't think we could get a shot of it. And I don't want to, you know, kick my foot in the air.
Yeah, and we don't want to see that this morning.
We don't want to see that this morning. I don't want to upset anyone who might be watching and throwing up their appetite. But there was a lady who watches the show. I saw in Price Mart the other day, and I think she said her name is either Bernadine or Bernadette, and she wanted to say hi to you guys. So maybe if you can, you know, say a shout to Bernadine. You know, Bernadine.
Hello, Bernadine. Special good morning to you, Bernadine. Hope you're having a fantastic day.
All right.
We wish you the very best.
And of course, all of our guests can also go onto our Facebook page, TTT Live Online, and share their thoughts. Tell us what they think. You can say good stuff and bad stuff, as people have been.
Well, not the bad stuff. You know, bad stuff to yourself.
Well, they say it anyway.
Mark the bad stuff to yourself.
I would like to thank you very much for joining us once again. And it was an absolute pleasure, you know, being in your company this morning, and hopefully we can do it again next week, Tuesday.
Thank you very much, Rishi.
Carrie,
good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning to you too, brother. Have a good one.
Always great checking in there with our sister station, Sweet 100.1 FM. But Carrie, do you know what is happening today, or what starts today, and who is going where today?
Let's see. So you are very excited, so it involves you.
Of course.
Dragon boat racing, which you like very much, which is happening in Tobago. So you got your wish, and Rishi's going to cross to Tobago today for the show tomorrow and the Dragon boat thing. So very excited for you, Rishi.
I am excited for me too. I am going this evening to Tobago, and talking about Tobago and Dragon boat race. It's time for us to go to Tobago via Skype. We are going to talk about the Dragon boat event, which starts today. Mr. Franco Siu Chung, who is the president of the Pan American Dragon Boat Foundation or Federation, Mr. Keith Daleb, the president of Trinidad and Tobago Dragon Boat Federation, and also Mike Thomas, who is the president of the International Dragon Boat Federation. These gentlemen are joining us via Skype from Tobago. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
How are you, gentlemen, this morning?
Oh, we're doing quite fine, Rishi. Enjoying the Tobago atmosphere.
And I'm hoping to enjoy the atmosphere with you all this evening. But how are things shaping up for the event today?
Well, things are shaping up quite fine. We have laid a race course. It's a pretty nice race course. Everything is nice and straight, ready for all the races. Today, all the teams that arrived on Tuesday and Wednesday will be taking their last day of practice. So everything is quite busy in Pigeon Point right now. The towers are being erected, the tents are being erected for the team village. Everything is working just perfect.
Yeah, so that is something to look forward to.
My first visit to Tobago, and one of the things that is wonderful is how friendly and helpful everyone is. It's a great way in which to start the championship. Everybody's very pleased with the welcome that they're receiving.
So, what do you expect, Mike Thomas, from this event?
What do you expect from this event?
I expect that it will help to increase the participation in dragon boating throughout this part of the world. It's a great friendly atmosphere, but with intense competition. So the expectations are high for encouraging more people to take part in dragon boating.
And I am sure that Keith Dalip, who is the president of the Trinidad and Tobago Dragon Boat Federation, is happy with what he's seeing over there in Tobago.
Absolutely, Rishi. I mean, I could never have anticipated the excitement from the especially the foreign-based crews when they come here. As I said, the atmosphere in Tobago is special, and when they get into the boats, run the course, as Franco described, we've got a pretty good course laid down there, which was quite an achievement in itself in Pigeon Point. And the boats we were using, as I think I've told you before, they're the first generation boats, so they're phenomenal. Everybody's having a great time. They're so excited, and we're looking forward to this competition.
And just to recap, what exactly is happening? How long is it taking place?
It's going to be running over 3 days. The first day of competition is the 22nd, Friday. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we've broken the program up into distances. So Friday is going to be the longer distances, the 1K and 2K. Saturday, the 500 meters. And Sunday, the sprint, 200-meter sprints.
Yeah, so that is some excitement there. And the opening ceremony will be a parade format?
The opening ceremony would be in Scarborough. It starts off at Tambourine Square at 4 p.m. and then we take a walk down Main Street onto the Esplanade. And then at the Esplanade we'll have entertainment, steel band, and a lot of, I don't share out all the secrets now. We want to invite everyone to come out to the Esplanade to witness the opening ceremony.
And it starts at 2 o'clock?
We'll have over 800 athletes that we would be parading from 5 different countries.
And it starts at 2 p.m.?
4 p.m.
4 p.m. So that event starts at 4 p.m.
Traffic, we want to stop traffic or add in traffic.
You will be stopping traffic.
My apologies to the people who might be inconvenienced, but we really want to have the people in Scarborough and indeed Tobago recognize our presence here.
Yeah, and the event sounds like an exciting one. And so, for the International Dragon Boat Federation, Mike Thomas, you're seeing all of this happening. You talk about the camaraderie and teamwork in Tobago there. Would you recommend it to other people to come?
Would you recommend other people to come with the camaraderie and teamwork that we have going on here?
It's the amazing thing about the sport of dragon boat racing. We involve very large numbers of people, and when we have large numbers of people and the spirit of teamwork and cooperation that takes place, it's a huge celebration of people enjoying sport and enjoying themselves in what is a very beautiful island.
So some exciting...
If I could add to that, Mike, I think he certainly will, because when he came in a couple of days ago, he mentioned to us that a team from the UK had asked him if they could come to the Pan Am, and Mike was putting a plug for them. So I'm sure you would want to expand on that.
Yes, no, it's absolutely right. When I was contacting a team from the UK who I said I was in Tobago, and they said, can we come? Can we come as a guest crew? How can we participate in this racing? And I know that there are other teams around the world who would like to come to the Pan Am Championships because it's such a friendly, competitive event. And and I said that it wasn't possible maybe for them to come to Tobago for the Pan Ams because next year it will move to a different venue.
Yeah.
And so they said, okay, so is there a championship in Tobago that we can come to? Is there a festival that we can race in? They're excited about coming to this part of the world to race.
So some exciting things to look forward to in the future. Mr. Franco Siutrang, who is the president of the Pan American Dragon Boat Federation, Mr. Keith Dalep, who is the president of the Trinidad and Tobago Dragon Boat Federation, and Mr. Mike Thomas, who is the president of the International Dragon Boat Federation. Thank you very much for joining us. Our very own Kent Fuentes is in Tobago, and I will be going into Tobago today to check out that and so much more. So a lot to look forward to, and you can only get all of the action here on TTT. Now, talking about events and tourism, things that attract people, what about hashtag Let's Go Grenada? Yeah, that is something to look forward to. I am being joined by two members of the Grenada Tourism Authority, Ms. Francine Stewart, who is the marketing manager, and Shania St. Bernard, who is marketing executive. They are in Trinidad as part of a delegation to promote the tourism product of Grenada, and we are using the hashtag Let's Go Grenada. Good morning, ladies, and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
How are you all enjoying Trinidad and Tobago?
I'm doing it yourself.
Really good. Yes.
So, what is happening? What is this driver for?
Okay, well, every year we come to Trinidad and Tobago. This is our 6th year, and we usually come right after your carnival to promote Grenada. And of course, this year it's even more exciting because you know what happened a few weeks ago, right? But it's not just about our Spice Mass. It's about Grenada as a year-round destination. Trinbagonians love Grenada. Actually, Trinidad and Tobago is our #1 source market.
Really?
In the Caribbean, yes. And it's getting better and better every year. So in 2017, we had over 15,000 Trinidadians coming to Grenada. In 2018, it went up to 17,000. We're seeing that Spice Mass is the biggest time of the year, but we're also seeing that throughout the year, they're coming and there's interest in coming. So every year we keep coming back, and Pure Grenada, the spice of the Caribbean. So every year we just keep coming. Our stakeholders come with us. Our hoteliers come with us. We have about 15 of them with us here for our events. This evening we have a welcome reception at the Hilton for the media. And some VIPs, yes.
I feel like I got a wink there, you know. it was not a wink to say, hey, you make sure and be there?
Yes. Yeah, so and to keep Grenada top of mind to Trinidadians and reminding them that we have something for everybody in terms of price points, in terms of accommodations. Trinidad and Tobago has the most public holidays in the world. And Grenada is...
That's what we were told.
Yes, that's a fact, I understood. And Grenada is only 30 minutes away. Liat and Caribbean Airlines offers flights daily, several times a day. So we have a little joke that we say that's easier to get to Grenada than be on your highway.
And that I would agree with.
Yes.
It's a true joke, you know.
Yes. So why not just come to Grenada? And Grenada is Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. We're a tri-island nation. So Carriacou is literally 17 minutes away by plane or 90 minutes by ferry. So we always say your trip is not complete to Grenada without a stop to Carriacou or Petit Martinique.
So if I have never been to Grenada, which I have never been to Grenada, and I want to come, sadly, but you know, it sounds fun, but motivate me to come.
Well, the thing about Grenada is that we are a year-round destination. So we're the perfect balance of sun, sea, and sand, as well as unique cultural experiences. So we are hosting a dynamic mix of events that covers things from sports to food to music. So any time of the year you can come. Starting from January, we have our Billfish tournament, which is very popular with the Trinidadians. We have Sailing Week Festival. We also have Workboat Regatta. Francine spoke about Carriacou, and in February we also have Kayak Mass. It's the home of the Shakespeare Mass, so it's more of a cultural experience. We also have, we're moving on to food, because we know Trinidadians love food, Grenadians love food too. So we have a lot of culinary events. We have Flavors of Grenada, which is a week-long activities of food, you know, any food you can sample, because, you know, we are the spice of the Caribbean. So during that week, you can test different meals with different spices, the nutmegs, the cinnamon, everything. And we also have Chocolate Festival. So if you are a chocolate person, that festival is for you. It's everything chocolate. We have chocolate yoga. We have bean to bar experience. Chocolate bear, which is one of my favorite. I know it sounds
like bear drink with
and it's
it actually
chocolate.
tastes a little bit like Guinness.
Yeah,
but
you get a hint of the
chocolates in there, so it's really good. If you love
really
beer,
good.
it's because we have a craft wine beer brewery, so they then come out, and that week is everything about chocolate. So you can sample all the chocolate beer. So
So a lot of people to go and check on. I want to go to Grenada. Hint. At my two guests.
You
ladies can take me back with you.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
I would love to be there, and hashtag Let's Grenada. So it sounds really nice for people. You mentioned 15,000 people from Trinidad go to Grenada on an annual basis.
Yes.
What are you expecting this year, and how are you planning to do that? Get more people to come.
Well, this year we're expecting a whole lot more because Mr. Killer did a really good job for us. And he's our cultural ambassador, and we just want to ride on that wave because we just know that more people will come. You can get that experience any time of the year if you don't get a chance to come during Carnival.
And then we also have to talk about Vaughan.
Yes,
who represented well as well.
All of them did really well. We're really proud of them. Mandela, of course, is doing extremely well. Sort of exporting that jab experience and really telling the story of the jab and what it means for us. Jab is, one of our main cultural activities or experiences during Jubei morning, and that's coming back on a hype, and the music is allowing that. So, in terms of our music, we're using that wave to promote Grenada. And say Grenada, Pure Grenada, the Spice of the Caribbean, is a year-round destination. Yeah. You can come to us any time of the year and have the experiences you want, whether it's for relaxation, a weekend getaway, family vacations, even corporate trips, retreats. Just you can come over.
So is there contact information that you can give to people?
Yes. Definitely. So puregrenada.com is your best area, or you can go to Facebook, or Instagram, and our handle is Discover Grenada.
Discover Grenada. So remember, go check that out, and you can get more information. Hashtag Let's Go Grenada, and I think Francine Stewart and Shania St. Bernard will be taking me to Grenada when they are going back. My hands are down. I'm hoping for that. So I'm going to try to get them to take me during the break. So we'll be right back.
Thank you.
We beg them not to stop the carnival. You could believe me, this is Creole Bacchanal. We beg them don't stop the carnival. Make me gal, but don't stop me carnival. We beg them don't stop the carnival. I want them to know that we love we calypso. We beg them don't stop the carnival. Make us study, but don't stop me liberty. We beg them don't stop the carnival. We come to parade by plane we masquerade. We beg them don't stop the carnival.
Ranking Production, a new era in media. Our professional services include videography, cinematography, photography, aerial videography, and television production. We provide expert coverage of weddings, concerts, sporting events, graduations, corporate functions, music videos, ads, lectures, christenings, parties, and portraits. Contact us today. Ranking Production, capturing your memorable moments in life.
TTT News, delivering more news at more times to more people. TTT News, reporting on the people, events, and issues that affect your life. TTT News, online and fully interactive. TTT News, connect.
Frontline on Talk City 91.1 FM, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to noon with me, Ria Roop Chansing, an informative and educational show that discusses a variety of topics, from social issues to the law, from education to religion, culture, health, beauty, and your well-being. And you also have a chance to voice your opinion in Frontline's open forum. Frontline, 8 a.m. to noon every Monday to Friday with me, Ria Roop Chansing, on Talk City 91.1 FM.
Alright, welcome back everybody. Well, PowerGen held its 27th annual Special Children's Fun Day, and that took place yesterday at PowerGen Sports Ground in Pinal. And our very own Brent Frederick was there. Check this out.
Of something in regards to World Down Syndrome Day. All right, and with me this morning is an artist and entrepreneur, Melissa Williams, and we're going to talk a little bit about your business and what you're doing, because you are part of my DIY this morning. So like every Thursday we do DIY here on Now, and I usually do some things, build some things, and in some cases destroy some things. But today we are going to be constructive and not destructive. But before we get into the actual demonstration of what you do and what your business is all about, tell me about your business, Melissa.
Right. Well, Creative Rooms started out through my husband. He had a business that he would advertise household items and things like that, and he would go to stores and different places and sell them. Okay. And then, well, he passed away, and in passing away, we decided that as a family we will continue his business, and so that's how Creative Rooms came about. Right. We branched off just about 5 years ago into interior decorating. Wow. Yes. And so these things are really requests from my clients. From clients, yeah. Okay, so sometimes you go into a room and you have to do a room and they ask for a mirror or some sort of little thing that they'd like us to leave with them. Right. And so we do all sorts of different things. And so this is just
very personalized things that they request. Yes. And that's how you do it. So that's basically the premise of, could you remind me of the name of your business?
Creative Rooms.
Creative Rooms.
Yeah.
So where could we get into contact with you?
Well, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're predominantly online. The household part of our business is online.
Well, we're in a digital world, you know.
Yes, yes. So you can contact us. We have our numbers up as well. If you like to contact us, it's 347-4562. That's the number for contacting if you need. We deliver to your home as well. So yes, we deliver, so you don't have to go anywhere if you need something. And of course, we're on Instagram as well. We're mostly on Instagram a lot because we get to put up our stories, and we like to bring our followers in so that they could see exactly what we do, because we're always busy doing something.
Always busy.
Yeah.
Alright, you know, and these days with social media and the technology available, you could, you know, basically show them exactly where all the magic happens.
Yeah,
and, you
take
know,
them
how
into the room.
Exactly, you know, so it connects with people a little bit more.
Yeah.
All right, so what's your biggest goal for your business?
My biggest goal for my business really is to just be there for clients who need to change up something in their room. Right. Because I think the world is stressful enough. And so I believe that when you come home, you must come home to a space that you really could just relax.
Yeah, I completely
so I
agree.
think for me, my business would be fantastic if I could reach everybody as much as possible and create rooms that they can enjoy and just bring them satisfaction.
Yeah. Yes. All right, excellent. So let's jump right into this demonstration part of things, because I'm seeing a lot of things. But before we do that, we do have some sponsors who, make all this happen. So I want to say big thank you going out to TNZ Home Improvement, and of course Rustic Works Furniture Company for facilitating and sponsoring the DIY segment here on Now. All right, so let's jump right into it. What are we going to do today, Melissa?
So we're going to make a starburst mirror.
A starburst mirror?
Yes, this is the easiest of all mirrors, and it's a really fun project that you could do with family, friends, you know, and just have a great day doing it.
I'm seeing some things that you would see in a regular household.
Yes.
Some bamboo skewers here.
Yes.
Then I'm seeing some shiny things that I don't know what you call them.
That's it. You could get this at your local craft store. Anything like braid that you want to, because this one is really decorated at the side. Sometimes you could leave it as it is, but most times people want to spruce it up a little bit, so you could go to your craft store and get anything that you need. Your regular spray paint, glue gun, and of course your double-edged tape, because I really don't like always to put the glue exactly on the mirror.
Okay.
So what we do is you put it more onto the board, which is foam board. This is foam board that we use, and then you stick it on. So it's reinforcing it so it wouldn't fall off.
I see. All right. Well, let's get to it.
Sure.
What's the first step?
So the first step would be, well, of course, we pre-did everything before. So we sprayed our skewers.
Right.
And then we used our glue gun and we stuck it on. And so in the back of this foam board, now foam board is a little bit tricky, so you have to use a craft knife to do it. Then you make an inner circle. The inner circle is going to guide you so that you will get your skewers going all the way around perfectly. Right?
All right.
And so that's what we did here. And
so we're going through the stages. So you started with your foam board. You use something like an X-Acto knife or something of the sort. Got the circle done. So you probably marked it first with something.
Yes, we used a ruler and you just mark it out. You could use a template depending on the size of your mirror. This one is a 10-inch mirror. So sometimes most of the time, if you want your foam board to be the same size, sometimes people want it to be the same size. This one was a little smaller behind. So it depends on what you want, because if you do it small, it'll pop off of the wall more, right?
Okay.
So this one is the size of the actual mirror that we'll be using.
Okay, so you got this mirror cut by your local glass cutter?
Yes, you go to your local glass cutter, tell them what the size would be, and then they just cut it for you and you pick it up.
All right, great. And then, so the next step after making a foam board here and marking it, what's the next step?
So the next step would be to prep your mirror, and you're going to use your
double-sided tape.
Double-sided tape, yes. And then you just take it off. And you're going to put some glue onto the surface of this, take the green stuff off of it, and stick it on.
Oh, so just so I understand, you start with your foam board, you actually stick your skewers onto, your sprayed skewers onto your foam board and glue it down with your glue gun here. After which, once the glue is dry and everything's set up, and I noticed you did a pattern going on here.
Yes.
The long ones going to cardinal points almost?
Yes, you could start with your cardinal points because it makes it easy to fill the inner parts.
Right, and then you fill it with the shorter ones.
And you could do any design. This one is just straight.
Right.
So you could use your another craft knife. Well, you use it for cutting plants and things like that. You could use it for your craft as well.
Yeah, because skewers are a little bit hard to work with when it comes to cutting.
Using irregular scissors, So this one we did like a little pattern. Every third one you do a long one. You could do anything you want. You could do shorter in, longer out.
This was step one over here. You make your board. This was marked, so you have the center point and you also have your cross lines, and you could then, from that point, you're going to apply your skewers to it. Your skewers, you could put them in any pattern you want, as she said, and stick it with your glue gun. You're going to use your glue gun and get it all around there. Put your pattern, ensure that it dries. The next step is that the prepared mirror, we put double-sided tape all around the mirror here, and for that reason is so that you could then take this, because this is step 2 number here, once you finish, right? And from there, you stick this. That's what you're saying?
Yep.
I'm following so far? All right?
Yes, you're following right.
Yep. And you stick this on your thing once you peel off these protective strips. And finally, this is what the final product looks like. I don't want to damage it.
Yeah.
My hands are a little bit crude sometimes. I do tend to destroy things.
I could lift it up for you to see. And this is the final one.
This is the final product. So on this side, as she said, she put the craft things, the shiny, fancy things
you want, and you could spray it any color you want as well.
All right. So this is fantastic, Ruki and Melissa Williams. Thank you so much.
Yep.
All right. And of course, thank you to you, and thank you to our sponsors, TNZ Home Improvement, and Rustic Works Furniture Company.
Receive a free Kindle Fire 7 HD with Alexa features when you purchase any of our highly effective JJ and Friends educational programs. The JTAP Junior Suite for children 2 to 5 years, the JTAP Suite for children 6 to 8 years, and the SEA Suite for students in standards 3 to 5 preparing for the SEA exam. It's the best of both worlds, amazing educational programs and a free Kindle Fire 7.
When they have a tablet in their hands,
they become so much more engaged. It's the new pencil, it's the new paper, it's the new book.
It's education everywhere at all times.
It's totally different than the classroom that we grew up in. It's the future.
I would encourage any parent to buy this product.
You are setting the future for your children.
I see a great improvement in my child.
I'm 100% satisfied with the JJ and Friends Phonics program.
It has changed my life. It has changed the life of my two sons.
This is a special introductory offer available for a limited time only. Call now 800-READ. That's 800-7323.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. No need for introduction. You all know who we are. So let's get down to business. I came to tell you all thanks for not informing on me when you see me shooting behind your brother in the middle of the road now. Or when you see me put the drugs in the hole, right in the wall around the corner. Or when I break in your neighbor house and empty it out. And I know you didn't tell the police while they hide the gun, that I know you see. But no need to complain, because that is not your business, So when I come to rob you tomorrow, with the same gun I know you see my hide, don't sell me out, Thanks again.
Quick.
Oh, welcome back everybody. We are almost to the end of the show here, but we are still going to give you a lot of information. As you know, we are in the period of Lent, and Father Christo is joining us this morning as he updates us on what is happening. Father, good morning.
Well, I like the Melissa's project, do it yourself. Lent is a period where you have to do it yourself. Nobody can do it for you.
Right.
So we're just checking in to see where people are. You know, if you start off hot and sweaty like resolutions, you start off Ash Wednesday, giving up everything. And then you just enter into the shrimp combo and all the other combos. But the key thing is whatever you give up, you must pick up and hand over. So if you deprive yourself of meat, of whatever you want to do, or your time, you hand it over to the poor. So I see you nicely clad in nice socks walking around and building a day for awareness.
And you have on your socks as well. And later on, before we leave, you come and show me.
Yes, but it's interesting that, and I admire that you could get building awareness for the other, and that is good. But what happens tomorrow? You know, you go back to the same old.
Yeah. So it's about that selfless act.
Act that you hand over, you deprive yourself in penance. So you discover who you are in your core. And then whatever you deprive yourself, because everything else is ashes, you give that over to somebody, the association. So it's not only attention, which is the socks could become attention, but what is your intention?
It's the inform, in this case.
In this case, you have to act out of it something. So whatever we're doing for Lent now, depriving ourselves to enter into this Paschal mystery, because...
But, I've always wondered, even with other religions when people fast, what is the real purpose of it? Because at the end of it, you're going back to be the same person that you were just before you started.
Not necessarily. It's supposed to make you to be a better version of yourself always. It's a journey. So every Lent, you revisit it over. So you wear the socks every year, but you must be contributing to the society. Otherwise, you just be wearing, it'd be attention. But what's your intention? So it's to go back, you take your flesh and blood to discover yourself, because everything else goes to ashes. And that's the rhythm. So every year, it makes you become a better person, a better version of yourself, closer to yourself and God. So it's a relationship with a pyramid, right? That's prayer is for God, almsgiving is for the other, and fasting for yourself. So I guess Kerry does all the massaging and thing for the body. That's for yourself alone. So fasting, if you do fasting alone, it's for yourself. If you do prayer alone, you could be heavenly good, earthly rotten. And if you almsgiving alone, you could become a social worker. You have to do all in the pyramid to make everything work. You must do the prayer, you must do the almsgiving and the fasting, interrelated, so the other benefits, God benefits and yourself benefits. So it's an interrelationship, because at the end of the day, everything else collapses and that's remain.
Yeah. And that sounds like me, Father.
Well, you want to double, so I have to tell you, the money is saving from the doubles, but I have to give to somebody who...
That's why I asked you to bring the doubles, Father.
Yeah, but I'll give it to the poor. Deprive yourself. That's the land. That's the sacrifice.
Really?
Yes.
So it is as simple as that?
Yes, but very hard because you have to deprive yourself
it sounds
of the
simple.
pleasure and the power and the glory that fades away. It's that pyramid you have to hold in tension.
Yeah. So how much longer for Lent?
A few more weeks. I think we're almost midweek.
Midway
through, and it's a journey. You fall and rise, but and you discipline yourself. And Muslim teachers to do it. You go deeper into spiritual self, finding a core, and that's important.
Yeah, Father, there is one other thing that I want to mention. A film on TTT will be showing on Tuesday, Pursuit of Truth.
Scripture says in my Father's house there are many rooms. You know, in African and Indian tradition, in a wedding, everybody does everything. That's heaven, where everybody does everything with a common good in their own sections without sin. So, Pursuit of Truth is telling us how Catholics live. We have gotten involved in every aspect of Christian living. We don't walk away and run away. You have to get immersed because Christ became man.
Yeah.
And when you do all that, we documented it because art and finance, wherever you find yourself, it becomes a prayer. If you're eating doubles, that'll be a prayer. If you're in a sock, whatever you do, you want morning on this show, now you have to be able to pray because every act of what you do becomes prayer. And the church is documenting that on Tuesday, 9 o'clock here.
Yeah.
Wonderful how the church got involved in the world.
And of course, people can stay with us here on TTT. Yes, we give some more information about that tomorrow. Let people keep informed and up to date with what is happening. Thank you very much, Father, for coming on and updating us on Lent and also on that film which is to be shown on TTT. Carrie.
All right, well, today is World Down Syndrome Day, but tomorrow is World Water Day here on Now, and which is scheduled for 22nd of March, and we're going to speak with Wendell Etienne, who is the Communications Officer of the Adopt a River program. Now, Wendell, first and foremost, how does one adopt a river? A river is a free-flowing entity that, it's a part of nature, it does its own thing.
Right.
How do you adopt a river?
So the first thing you do is just take ownership of the space. To adopt something means that you are taking care, you are accepting responsibility for it. What we're asking communities to do is to accept responsibility for the rivers in their area, and we're asking all the citizens to adopt all rivers because they all belong to all of us.
So how do we get directly involved with adopting a river? Say, for instance, I wanted to adopt the river running through Diego Martin. How do I do that?
Right, so let me tell you what that means. It means that you would have identified an issue. You would have logged on to our website, www.adoptorivertt.com.
Right.
And you sign up as a registered to become an adopter. We reach out to you. We train you. We give you the Water Warriors training, get you involved in understanding what's in the water, and we help you improve the quality of that water and the quality of the watershed as well.
You said a water warrior. What's a water warrior?
A water warrior is someone who has committed to improving the freshwater resource in their community.
Right. Well, that is excellent. So tomorrow
World Water Day.
What are you in the Adopt a River program doing tomorrow itself?
Tomorrow it's an International Day of observance of the importance of freshwater and our freshwater resource. We have planned 4 commemorative walks across Trinidad and Tobago at the Harris Promenade, San Fernando, Brian Lara Promenade, Port of Spain, Shogunas Main Road, beginning at the Shogunas City Hall area, and at the amphitheater, the library in Tobago. All walks begin at noon, and we're inviting...
That's some hot sun time.
Hot sun. And it's a silent walk.
It's a silent walk.
Okay. It's not very long. In Port of Spain, it's the full length of the promenade, and that's the average distance for all walks.
All right. Well, Wendell Etienne, Communications Officer of the Adopt a River program, thank you for joining us this morning. If you could just give us the contact information to reach out to you.
You could visit our website, www.adoptorivertt.com, or you can call 622-2302, extension 6561. You don't need to register to walk, just come out on the day. We give you a t-shirt, we have a little refreshment there for you, only for the early birds.
Right.
Yeah. But visit the website, visit our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, and we're ready to go.
All right, thank you so much, Wendell Etienne.
Carrie, as we said today, World Down Syndrome Day, and as you can see on your screen now, some footage of some of the socks that people here at TTT would have had on today. I'd like to thank everybody for showing support and raising awareness, and we'll catch you again tomorrow. Take care.
Now we're ready to show the world who we are. Shine a light so everyone could see our identity. See the way we do what we do.
Caribbean region has a plethora of over 500 festivals to choose from, but there is one festival that stands out from the others in terms of its rich cultural tapestry, natural heritage, sheer vibrancy and reflection of all that is innately Caribbean. Carifesta.
Our cultures represent a unique fusion that emanates from our historical underpinnings. Since the first edition of Carifesta in Guyana in 1972, this Caribbean showcase has emerged as a 10-day mega Caribbean festival of arts, which we can all look forward to with great anticipation. Carifesta embodies Caribbean integration, and it gives expression to the uniqueness of our Caribbean reality. It is here that the people of the region come together, commingling and creating one community and one people.
Trinidad and Tobago is very proud to host this mega performing arts and culture festival of the creme de la creme of Caribbean artistes and artists from August 16th to the 25th in 2019.
Culture and creative industries, they contribute significantly to the gross domestic product of member countries. Globally, it is believed that culture contributes about 3% of the global domestic product, some $2.2 trillion.
The Trinidad and Tobago Organizing Committee has been working assiduously to produce a Carifesta worthy of regional and international acclaim.
I think that Trinidad and Tobago is doing a tremendous job in preparing for the festival. I've been actively involved in planning at least the last 5 Carifestas. For this festival, the level of preparation is ahead of any I've seen so far.
As part of this promotion for 2019 is to try to encourage people who would have gone to North America and other places for their summer holidays to come to Carifesta itself, because it's going to be one of the rare opportunities to know another country and to know other countries in one place and at one time.
We promise you'll have a fantastic time.
With love to our beautiful Twin Islands for Carifesta 14.
We feel extremely honored to be representing the red, white and black, and this Carifesta 14 promises to be the most exciting yet.
We are looking forward to share all our culture, all our arts, all our music, our food, and we are excited to experience what the Caribbean has to bring to us as well.
Please come to Carifesta 2019, where we celebrate the arts together.
Come celebrate with us, yeah? Trinidad and Tobago.
Connect, share, invest.
Carifesta 14, Trinidad and Tobago.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Karen Cozier-Phillip. This is News Now on TTT. President General of ASTRA Trinidad and Tobago, Yaqub Ali, says there is no need to fear that the terrorist attack at a mosque in Christchurch, New Zealand, will happen in Trinidad and Tobago. The ASTRA was just one of several Muslim organizations that met with Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, Minister of National Security Stuart Young, and Police Commissioner Gary Griffith on Wednesday afternoon.
We don't think that sort of extreme behavior would happen in Trinidad.
Minister of National Security.
Muslims are not that way minded. I mean, we have born and grown up here, and we don't do that, and we don't condemn anybody's religion. You know, we say that said before, faith in God gives meaning and purpose to human life, that the brotherhood of man transcends the sovereignty of nations.
Yes.
The Minister of National Security, in echoing the sentiments, says the gang warfare being played out between Rasta City and Muslims has nothing to do with religion. He said there's no need for heightened security at mosques or places of worship.
On all places of worship, we have more police patrols, and that is taking place. And what we told the Muslim community is, if you pick up any intelligence, please let us know. And that applies to everybody in Trinidad, but we're not going to encourage any panic situation unless things are intelligence driven, and we've been able to, through due diligence, confirm it. We just continue business as usual.
Head of the TTPS Southern Division, Senior Superintendent Zamshid Mohammed, says more resources are needed in the Southern Division as the rate of illegal immigrants from Venezuela is putting a strain on the division and becoming a challenge.
Well, yes, we are receiving challenges, and the challenges in terms of our resources. A lot of our resources have to be diverted to focusing on these illegal immigrants, particularly but not limited to the Moruga area. Within the last 2 weeks or so, we have detained in excess of 30 persons. And when that detention takes place, obviously our resources have to be deployed in terms of interviewing together with the immigration persons. These are detainees to ascertain whether any criminal offense or any criminal intent might be forthcoming.
The Trinidad and Tobago Council of Evangelical Churches says condoms should not be distributed to children. They argue against the logic behind this suggestion as brought by the Family Planning Organization of Trinidad and Tobago. The council says the video on social media being used to justify this proposal shows an instance of unprotected sex between adults. This, it says, does not follow that adults having unprotected sex should lead to giving children condoms. The church grouping says any attempt to include comprehensive sex education in the education curriculum or to distribute condoms to the nation's children will be met with strong resistance. To some sports news now. The medals kept on coming for the Trinidad and Tobago Special Olympics outfit over at the World Games in the United Arab Emirates. Up to Wednesday, TT amassed a stunning 56 medals, inclusive of 19 gold, 15 silver and 22 bronze, despite competing in only 5 disciplines: athletics, bocce, equestrian, powerlifting and swimming. On the final day of competition, the TT team picked up gold in the bocce doubles event with a perfect 4-0 record. The pair of Gary Boodoo and Kenrick Bach amassed a perfect 12 points, 2 more than the silver medalist. The pair of Alicia Khan and Micheline Hussein also copped bronze in bocce. TT also landed gold in the pool when the locals touched first in a time of 2 minutes, 4.85 seconds in the 4x50 meters freestyle event. And on the track, TT also landed bronze when the quartet of Latoya Charles, Donald Doyle, Justin Providence, and Jonathan Walker clocked 53.03 seconds in the sprint relay. That brings us to the end of News Now on TTT. I am Karen Kuzia-Phillip.
TTT News. Connect.
The JTAB Junior is designed for children 2 to 5 years old, fashioned after the Ministry of Education ECCE curriculum. It's effective, it's engaging. The JTAB Junior, your child's first Android tablet. The educational JTAB Junior Suite comes with charts, flashcards, parent-teacher guides, writing math, board games, and workbooks, all designed to stimulate your child's cognitive development.
Receive a free Kindle Fire 7 HD with Alexa features when you purchase any of our highly effective JJ and Friends educational programs. The JTAB Junior Suite for children 2 to 5 years, the JTAB Suite for children 6 to 8 years, and the SEA Suite for students in standards 3 to 5, preparing for the SEA